Namaskara. Today, the Indian celebrates what we call as Bone and Joint Disease Week or Bone and Joint Day. We always think that the health and bone are not related. More often we think and we take granted that bone will always be healthy, and bone is something which is which when we see outside, we see as if it is a very rock hard tissue. And since it is rock hard tissue, I don't think anyone has to care or worry about that bones. But that's not the truth or the fact. In a living individual, bone is a dynamic structure. Bone participate in multiple other functions in addition to supporting us. Bone is one of the place from where the blood cells generates what we call as bone marrow. Bone is the place where calcium is stored. Calcium is given up when it is required. It releases lot of compounds, phosphorus, etc., which are responsible for our day-to-day functioning of the body. So bone is not something which is just a rigid, non-living structure. It is a very lively structure. In addition to being, it is supporting a lot of other functions. It also supports the human body as a skeleton system. It works as a skeleton system, though we call it a skeleton system. It is not just a frame, which is inert. It is a frame which proactively interacts with the body and tissue. That's why managing a good bone health is important. Not just that, the bone also undergoes, as the time progresses, into something what is called as osteoporosis. If bone becomes fragile and weak, that is what we call as osteoporosis, what happens is it breaks very easily. So normally across the world, around 1.5 million fractures occur per year, mainly because bone has not been taken care properly. Bone health is not managed properly. It accounts to around 3 lakh hip fractures, 7 lakh vertebral fractures, and quite a good number of wrist fracture and other sites. See, often we might have heard as a story, as a terms from the neighborhood, that my elderly granny who is 70 years went to bathroom. I don't know what really happened. She just fell and now she is not able to move her leg. She doesn't complain of any pain, but she is not able to move her leg. This is one of the common scene which we see in quite a good number of people where we have senior citizens. And also sometimes we see women coming with, or a men coming with a back pain, which is just a nudged. I just dropped to sit on my chair, or I drove in a car, or I sat in a car on the back seat and my back is paining and back is hurting. So that's where the back would have been gone for a break. This fracture or this break occurs because of a problem what we call as osteoporosis. What do we mean by osteoporosis? Osteoporosis is a condition where the bone loses its mass. Normally, you might have seen bone has a good amount of tough materials, which is made out of calcium and proteins, as well as a lot of collagen in other tissues. And when these things are reduced in amount or volume, this is going to cause a loss in its strength, what we otherwise called as bone mass. The reduction in bone mass is going to reduce the strength. I mean, it is a simple logic. Anything which loses density loses its strength. That's what happens in the osteoporosis. In osteoporosis, bone loses its calcium. In addition to calcium, it also loses its base matrix, or a base on which it stays. So we call it as reduction in bone mass per unit volume. So that is otherwise called a density of the bone, or otherwise we call it as bone density. Overall, bone density starts dropping down with the time, which is what we call as osteoporosis. This is what really happens. If you see a normal bone, it has a very nice architecture built of a framework. These are all the pores where the blood vessels and bone marrows works. But on that you have a tough framework. As the time progresses, you can see in osteoporotic bone, the number of these bridges and things, structures which are there gets lost. So that's where the bone's architecture loses. The bone becomes more thin and porous. See, per se, bone is porous. Let's be clear, it becomes still more porous. What is microns is going to become millimeters. So the size of these porous becomes bigger, and that's where we call it as osteoporotic bone. So as you know, when the mass comes down, the strength of the bone slowly comes down, resulting in a quick and a easy fracture. So why does it happen? See, in a resting bone, normally we have bone laying cells, and there are also bone removing cells. I said the bone is not a stable structure. Bone keeps changing its calcium, its composition, its compilation. When we work, when we walk, when we do any movements, there could be small injuries which it tries to repair and reconstitute. So for that, it is something like a continuous ongoing process. It goes on removing the bones, putting the new bones. So there is something what is called as resorption, which is caused by osteoclast. The osteoblasts are the one which lays the bones. When bone breaks, for instance, say when a fracture occurs, what really happens is you bridge the bone with the callus, and there the osteoblast comes and lays the bone. Osteoclast simultaneously bevels and shapes the bone. So you might have seen whenever we put any material on the wall or anywhere, we need to put the wall, then we need to clean it up so that it becomes smooth and aligns to the things what we want. That's how the bone formation also have removal as well as laying down. So when it lays down, if it's not uniform, it removes it. Sometimes when they need calcium, when they need certain materials which are rich in the bones, the osteoclasts work to pull them and put it into the circulation, because calcium is required for many of the functions. When they are required, the calcium is removed from the bone and moved into the circulation. When it is in adequate concentration for everywhere, they also put the calcium into the bone. So there is a lot of processes which keeps happening in the bone. As I said, bone is a lively structure. It supports, in addition, it also supports varieties of program and functions, wherein osteoclast works for pulling up things from the bone, molding the bone. Osteoblast puts the bones into the process. So in its resting stage, most of them are inactive and staying there. Whenever the demand or a call for work comes, they get activated through many of mechanisms, and there are a lot of hormones which triggers them, lot of hormones which pulls them out, and overall what it does is body, based on the demand, strengthens the bone when it is required. When it is not required, it allows it to be as it is. So this is one of the very important fundamentals which we should know. In bone is a dynamic structure. Based on the necessity, it changes to its dynamic requirement. For example, if someone who is sedentary suddenly become active, starts working, moves a lot of physical activity, bones strengthen itself to prepare itself for the subsequent strength required. If you rest for longer time, bone slowly goes for thinning down and slowly tries to work out a balance wherein it is optimum required for his minimal day-to-day processes. So this is where the bone metabolism, bone minerals, bone processes work. So now coming to osteoporosis, is it a rare problem, or is it a problem which I need not bother about? Is it something which is not to be bothered? Because most of the time, osteoporosis don't produce any symptoms. It is like beginning of the diabetes or beginning of the hypertension. You may not have any complaint to deal with. You usually just think that my things are okay, nothing rare, little pain and strain, I get it, but not very serious problems are faced. So if you really screen for osteoporosis, you see around 300 million people in India have osteoporosis. So it is more common in ladies. It is more common in the postmenopausal women, that is after the age of 50. So usually 24% of the patients, especially after 50 and elderly, die because of hip fracture which occurs. Suddenly, as I said, the lady moves in, suddenly she drops out, and the bones in the hip area might have fractured or broken. So osteoporosis is a silent killer. It is what we say is, it doesn't produce any symptoms. You may not feel much of the symptom, with an exception when you strain, you'll have a lot of pain. Around 5-10% or 15% of people may get screened for the osteoporosis, especially when they have back pain or pain here and there. That's the only point where we may be forced to go for the screening or testing, but otherwise, most of the time, we may not try to figure out their problems. So there are some risk factors. Usually, females, increasing age above 50, thin and small, thin individuals, especially with BMI 19, Asian ethnicity, family history of osteoporosis, because there are some genetic tendency of developing osteoporosis, and late menarche, late getting menarche, or menopause happening earlier than 45 have an increased tendency of developing the osteoporosis. And in men who smoke have an increased tendency, but otherwise, other risk factors like early bone fracture at the age below 40, diseases like rheumatoid, thyroid, parathyroid, poorly controlled diabetes, lactose intolerance, some of the digestion disorder where the calcium is not properly absorbed. And we have a large list of diseases which can result or lead to the development of osteoporosis. This is not very common, but most commonest is the postmenopausal osteoporosis. So in addition to things, there are some drug like long-term use of steroids, high-dose thyroid hormone requirement, using epileptic medicines, using diuretics, long-term use of oral anti-gastric tablets, excess of aluminum containing antacids. Some of the hormones that are used also may result in osteoporosis risk. So most of the lifestyle risk which result in osteoporosis is a inactive lifestyle. So if you are a sedentary person, you are likely to develop osteoporosis. Low diet calcium, especially South Indian vegetarian diet, are very low in calcium. So they need to enrich themselves with either calcium medicated tablets, supplements, or foods which are rich in calcium. Little sun exposure or dietary low vitamin D, consumes few fruits and vegetables, excess of drink of alcohol, smoking, and large amount of caffeine are the responsible lifestyle factors which are responsible for osteoporosis. If you are following any of them, set them right, that can reduce osteoporosis. Be active, do some exercise, do little of walking, at least 30 minutes in a day, have good amount of calcium rich diet, bathe in sun for at least half an hour to 45 minutes, avoid alcohol, avoid smoking, and reduce the caffeine usage. That's one of the simple lifestyle change which can reduce the development and incidence of osteoporosis. So other risk factor where osteoclast activities increase are vitamin D deficiency, thyroid, parathyroid, and estrogen deficiency. And we group the osteoporosis as second. One is primary, most of the time is postmenopausal or age-related osteoporosis, the one which I told you. The secondary osteoporosis are the reasons which I said are the risk factor which are responsible for the development of osteoporosis. That's why when any patient, especially when they come in early osteoporosis, one has to and one will test for any of these possibility or a possible responsible factor for the development of osteoporosis. So that's why we need to investigate, figure out what is there any secondary reason for osteoporosis? If it can be corrected, we would like to correct it simultaneously. For example, somebody is taking steroid just for asthma every day. He should be weaned off from steroids and be given other kind of medications which could be of some help. There are varieties of drugs. If they are there, if we can avoid that. How do we manage osteoporosis? If we think or seriously consider a possibility of osteoporosis by doing DEXA scan, then we look for calcium, phosphorus, alkaline phosphatase. If they are abnormal, they suggest mineral cause for osteoporosis, vitamin D deficiency, thyroid problems, urine calcium, and BMD to test how much is the bone density. And we would like, if required, other methods to figure out how good or bad is the osteoporosis. In BMD testing, which is otherwise called DEXA scan, this is the standard method in which one can assess the bone density. So based on the bone density, we estimate, normally what we do is, when we report a bone density, we report it by looking into the ratio of what otherwise would have been normal versus what is the individuals. So when we take a ratio, if it is less than -1, it is usually considered okay. -1 to -2.5, there is some element of bone defect. And if it is greater than -2.5, we have a severe osteoporosis. The bone density is very much reduced, and especially -1 to -2.5 and more than -2.5 requires treatment. So we call it as increased fracture tendency increases as we move towards the red zone. The red zone is the place where chance of bone breakage, fractures for simple injuries becomes higher. So this is how the bone fracture increases. As the number goes on increasing, the number of incidents of fracture increases. To prevent that, what do? Avoid harmful habit, alcohol, smoking, and even the sedentary life is also a very harmful habit. Do the BMD test, change the active life, regular sunshine, and go for healthy diet. In addition, we have a lot of medical treatment, which includes bisphosphonate, some of the injection called denosumab, some teriparatide, etc., which can help in building the bones based on the conditions, based on the different situations. We can use them, but more than the medications, if you go, it is best to avoid osteoporosis, avoid harmful habit, check for your bone density, and if it is less, change active lifestyle, do regular sunshine and exercises, manage healthy diet. You can prevent osteoporosis to greater extent. When it is above and inevitable, you can use the medications to help in management of osteoporosis. Thank you very much.